Hi, folks. This is Mark Smith with Family Tree Life Coaching. I have another video in the series on broken people dating broken people. I told you I was going to try to come at you about once a week, but I just go when the inspiration hits me. So, if you haven't seen the first one, it's entitled Broken People Dating Broken People. And I was really encouraged with the comments. There was like, as of now, there was 35, 36 comments. So there was lots of people that related to what I'm talking about here is people who've been getting their asses kicked in dating for decades, for years, who um, are in a lot of pain, and you can't break the cycle and you don't know what's causing it. And it's scary to date. You don't want to be alone, but it's really scary to date. I wanted to get that picture up. You can see it in the background of the two Adirondack chairs. Um, I I'm haunted by pictures of Adirondack chairs on the beach because I ask myself, who's going to be sitting there? Who's going to be sitting in that chair? Is there going to be one empty chair, or is there going to be somebody sitting next to me? And some of you might have that same concern of, you know, you're getting older and you want a sense of partnership, but you must be doing something wrong because it turns to shit um, eventually. So, um, who is that person for you? You're not going to find out until you do a great deal of work on yourself. And this background is different. I tried working with my laptop and it just took too much time. It was a bit cumbersome. This is my workspace when I'm working online. Um, Next door behind the sliding glass is I've got a nice big therapy room in there, a big room where I do coaching and therapy. So the title of episode number 2 in Broken People Dating Broken People is 20 redemptive benefits from broken dating endings. What I mean by that is the endings are broke off, cut off, messy, hurtful, painful. You get the picture. 20 redemptive benefits from broken people who were dating broken people, and the ending ended badly and abruptly and in a hurtful kind of a way. So uh, you're saying there's benefits to that? It sounds terrible, but what I'm here to say is um, life gives you lemons, make some really good lemonade with it. Um, Things happen for a reason. There are no victims in relationships. So if you keep having relationships end, there is a person I can direct you to who can fix that. And it's the person that you see in the bathroom mirror in the morning. It's you. It's you. It's not the congregation of millions of narcissists out there trolling dating sites looking for you. That's not the person who needs to change. It'd be nice if they changed. They ain't going to change. But the only person that you have control over changing is you. So the first thing that is a benefit from a broken ending and it's redemptive is you have a brilliant opportunity, a great opportunity to have further insight into yourself and ask yourself, what was your responsibility in the breakup? What we generally do is point the finger at the other person, and they did this and they did that and they did this and they did that. And it's a whole lot more. I like my new chair, by the way. I got myself a new chair and it's really comfortable. They did this, they did that. That's why we broke up. And it's a lot more complicated than that. So when you're in the pain, um, read books, go to a really good therapist who has experience in imago therapy. You thought I was going to say has experience with narcissistic abuse. You need somebody that can help you work on you so that you can stop doing this as a pattern. And you've got an opportunity to gain insight into yourself. I want to direct you to a book title. And the book is How to Be an Adult in Relationships. And it's by David Richo, Richo. And he's a therapist, but he comes from sort of a Buddhist perspective. Very wise man. I'm listening to it over and over and over and over and over again because every sentence is filled with so much wisdom that I have to ponder on it a little bit. But that's really what this journey is about. It's about learning how to be an adult in relationships and not letting the wounds of your childhood dictate the rest of your life to you. My last partner and I had a word we had come up with in terms of our goals for the rest of our lives, and that word is triumphant. And we did have a breakup, but you know what? I'm sure she's still going to be triumphant, and I'm sure as hell going to be triumphant. Because this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. I was meeting with a friend today for breakfast, and he goes, "Man, I'm excited for you." And I said, "You are? I just broke up with the love of my life." He goes, "But look at how you're handling it. You're being proactive. You're taking care of yourself. You're grieving in a way that's really mature. You're not falling apart. You're trying to help other people. You're leaning on your friends. You're growing spiritually." That's how to get better. And look at each broken relationship as just an opportunity to get all the more healthier. So that's the first thing, is gaining insight and focusing not on the other person's stuff, but focus on your stuff. What'd you do? How did you contribute? The second thing that that is a redemptive benefit is uh, just getting the opportunity to have progress. Just sort of um, uh, talk about the one about insight. What comes after insight is progress. And I've been going through this process of what you do is you end up picking people who are clones of the people who hurt you the most. And I grew up with a harmful set of parents. And fortunately, my education in this regard unfortunately, began in 2005 and is ongoing. But the good thing is the last two women I've been involved with have been significantly healthier. and the endings have been handled by myself in a mature, adult, healthy fashion. So, how do you get better? You take time off from dating, which is what I'm doing. But then when the time comes, you keep your eyes open. You try to move very, very slow. Um, and you really vet the other person. And you ask yourself, can they do the work of therapy? Have they dealt with their family of origin issues? Are they able to handle conflict? These are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself. So, another one of the benefits for me has been I've had a lot of peace. Um, my life has quieted down rather than having lots of traveling and lots of intensity in the relationship. Um, I've rediscovered naps. Naps are wonderful, and I had so much intensity between travel, work, and the relationship that my nervous system didn't get a chance to really take care of itself. So I have felt a great deal of peace in my heart. It'll bring you humility. It'll bring you lots of extra time. And one thing that I keep hearing from people and that I feared myself is the fear of being alone. I just realized this time is really the first time I've ever been alone because I always had Mr. Pauly. And most of you know that I had to put Mr. Pauly down in March. Unfortunately, I miss him so badly. I always look over and there's something on the floor. I think it's him. I look over, oh, but I always had Mr. Pauly at least, even if I wasn't in a relationship. But you know what? I am enjoying my own company. I am enjoying the satisfaction of my own company very much. And I'm not looking at this extra time as a bad thing. It's a blessing. Going through this will definitely give you more empathy for the pain of others. It will give you an opportunity to cry, what I call deep processing. I was watching football the other day. It wasn't the Cowboys, it was another game. And all of a sudden, I just had waves of pain come over me. And I had a good long 40-minute sporadic cry. And I felt so cleansed from the inside out when I was done crying. Um, for me, I know a lot of you can't say this because you were involved with some pretty hurtful people, maybe narcissistic people, and so you may not be able to say what I'm going to say, but what I can hold on to is a great deal of really wonderful memories that I treasure that are amazing. Um, I had more joy and travel and emotional connectedness in the past 8.5 months than I've ever had in my life. So even if you go through something horrible with somebody, wasn't there something good at some point? Something must have drawn you to it besides your dysfunctional family of origin stuff. So celebrate whatever good memories you do have. Um, Number 9, after a breakup, um, especially if it means um, going separate directions if you're under the same roof. I wasn't under the same roof, but I was under her roof an awful lot. And you can be the king or queen of your castle And I've been making my home a real sanctuary for healing. You guys see these fake jellyfish everywhere. I don't know why I like these, but I just love them. They soothe me. It creates an environment of healing, and it's wonderful to not have to negotiate with a partner about, hey, are we going to keep this table or this picture or this piece of furniture? You get to be king of the castle, and that's a benefit. Number 10, you get a break from the conflict, what I call storming. Every relationship, really every group has a pattern of uh, uh, connection and building a connection. This is by Irving Yalom, one of my heroes. The first thing is you form, you meet, you start. You're drafted by the football team. You meet your future wife. You're hired into the company. The second thing is you norm. Talkers are going to talk. Liars are going to lie. Cheaters are going to cheat. People are going to be who they are. And uh, that's what norming is. But it gets real, and it gets down to the nuts and bolts of whether or not you can have a relationship work out when it gets to storming. Storming is taking off the mask, rolling up your sleeves, and being authentic. And just because you have conflict in your relationship doesn't mean it's the wrong relationship. Every relationship is going to storm. You can't have a healthy relationship without pain. You cannot have and build a healthy relationship without storming and without pain. And many times the pain is exquisitely profound. It hurts. So you're thinking, why am I in this relationship if it hurts? It's the price of admission to building a healthy relationship. You cannot build a healthy relationship unless you go through some storming. And then the last stage of this is performing. It's hitting on all cylinders. It's interdependency. It's a couple that's both parties have done a great deal of work on themselves, and then they build a partnership between each other. Um, I mentioned this one before, but I want to say it again. Number 11, you get to experience the joy of aloneness. Um, I've been turning on the fire. Uh, I have a little balcony, and I've been laying on the balcony looking at the stars. I've watched several movies. Sometimes I just sit in a comfortable chair and just feel what's going on with me. I feel alive and I feel connected to myself in a way I haven't felt connected to myself in a long time. And there's a sense of joy with that. Um, Number 12 is you have an opportunity to grow spiritually. There ain't no atheists in foxholes. When you're going through pain like this, you'll go to praying, and that's good for you. That's good to have a higher power and to trust in God. Number 13, you have more time for your friends and your family. I've been so busy the last 8.5 months in the relationship that I didn't have time to hang out with my friends or my family. So there's a bit of a vacuum because I haven't been doing that. I haven't been taking the time to spend the time with my friends and family. I didn't make the time. I felt like I didn't have the time. So it's been wonderful to reconnect with people. And I've got a lot more things on my schedule to do with that. Number 14, you can get well financially when you're not in a relationship if you work real hard because you're not going on a lot of expensive trips. Probably in the beginning when you're grieving. At least for me, I've been on so many trips the last 3 or 4 months. I'm just going to stay home in my sanctuary and save my nickels. Um, Number 15 is it'll give you a real motivation to take care of yourself and practice self care. Today, I went uh, to meet my good friend Tim for breakfast. After breakfast, I went for a stretching session. Have you guys heard about this? There's chiropractors, there's massage therapists, and now there's people that have a practice of they stretch you, and it's wonderful. And I'm one of the guys that really needs to be stretched. Then I went to the dentist and got my teeth cleaned, which wasn't really a lot of fun, but it's what you do when you're taking good care of yourself. And then I had enough time to get to my EMDR session. I'm doing some EMDR, rapid eye movement session. So it was a long. I had a chance to get my car washed. I got my car washed. It was sunny out, beautiful day. Got my car washed. Half an hour later, starts raining. um, Number 16, I mentioned earlier, is the joy of napping. Number 17 is an opportunity for gratitude. Don't be bitter at your former partners. Be grateful. They did a lot of good stuff for you. I know, again, that's not everybody's circumstance, but it certainly was my circumstance. But not only uh, even if you come from a horrific relationship, be grateful for the opportunity to work on yourself, because you wouldn't be working your butt off on yourself if you weren't in pain. Wouldn't be in pain if it wasn't for this person that you recruited. You recruited them to bring what they brought to be who they were. And it did you some good if you think about it rightly. That's what this whole series is about thinking about broken people, dating broken people, and why it gets so hurtful and why you don't reach your goals. Many times the foundation of the relationship is off. Many times one person cannot do the work. Many times you didn't start the work soon enough. There's so many reasons why things cannot work out. But pray for the person that you went through this with, and pray that God would bless them, and be grateful for the opportunity that you had to grow and learn. Number 18 is to start sourcing from yourself. Start getting your needs met, not by another person all the time. We're too exterior focused about getting our needs met. In this book that I recommended, How to Be an Adult in Relationships, this brilliant therapist says you can legitimately expect about 25% of your needs to be met by your partner. 25%. Many of you are out there looking for 90, 100%. And if you don't get it, you take your marbles and you go quit and go away because you're not getting enough of your needs met. Well, if you were sourcing yourself enough, you wouldn't have the desperate need not to be abandoned by your partner. Number 19, you got this extra time and you can start enjoying old hobbies. One of my old hobbies is making YouTube videos. Haven't done it really much for years, but I've got a lot of things to say and a lot of things coming at you. Or pick up a new hobby. There's one that I want to learn and get involved with, and that's pickleball. I want to get involved in some pickleball. I've heard it's a good game for a guy who's 62 years old. And number 20, it gives you an opportunity to embrace your feelings. And I want to read a poem. It's a poem that I've read to you guys before, but it's been a long time since I've made very many videos. Some of you have heard this, some of you haven't, but it's a brilliant piece by Rumi, the great poet. I believe he wrote his stuff and lived in the 1500s, a long time ago. Might have been further back than that. But when I read it, it'll sound like he wrote it like this week. Embracing your feelings. The piece is called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning there's a new arrival. It could be a joy. It could be a depression. It could be a meanness. It could be the hollow pain of abandonment. I'm riffing off the poem here just a little bit. It can be a sense of hopelessness. It could be a sense of desperation. It could be profound, profound sadness. They all come as an unexpected visitor. You never know what you're going to feel when you wake up. You never know how you're going to feel as the day goes on. Rumi says, welcome and entertain all the people, all the feelings that come. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Having your house violently swept of its furniture sounds like a divorce, or it sounds like people breaking up and going different directions. Thankfully, I hadn't gotten rid of my furniture. I was getting ready for a move to another state, and all I've done is I got rid of my toaster oven. And I didn't really use it anyway, but thank goodness that I didn't have my house violently swept of its furniture. But still, Rumi says, treat every emotion honorably, because he may be clearing you out for some new delight. If you broke up with somebody, then evidently it really wasn't meant to be. And the universe and God might be clearing you out for some new delight. It ain't going to be next week. It ain't going to be next month. Today's a month since the breakup I went through, and we're just scratching the surface of the grieving process. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. Getting back to the feelings, the dark thought, the shame of having failed in another relationship. You didn't fail. You experimented. Thomas Edison, was known, somebody says, we've tried 1,000 ways to get the filament for this light bulb and we failed. And he said, we didn't fail. We just found 1,000 ways it didn't work. And when you go through these relationships, don't look at it as a failed marriage, or don't look at it as a failed relationship. Look at it as an experiment which you learned and grew and were blessed in, and you found some things that didn't work. That's a more accurate way to look at it. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet him at the door laughing. When the dark pain of abandonment comes knocking and you feel hopeless, meet him at the door laughing. And invite him in. Be grateful for whoever comes, whatever feeling arises, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I know a lot of you are really hurting out there. I know a lot of you are feeling hopeless. Thank you for investing in that first video, broken people dating broken people. I hope that you benefited from this 20 redemptive benefits from broken dating endings. I'm going to get into some powerful stuff here pretty soon. This is just introductory material, but I'm going to teach you why you keep picking the same kind of person, why you pick abandoners, why you pick liars, why you pick cheaters, why you pick ragers, why you pick addicts. Why you keep doing that? Because when you meet them, they don't seem that way. It's not because everybody out there is a narcissistic genius, okay? That's not it. It has to do with you. It has to do with the wounds of your childhood. But I'll make that case in further videos. There's millions of us out there, millions of people who want to be in a relationship and have tried dating apps, they've tried dating coaches, they've tried therapists, they've read a lot of books, they've kissed a lot of frogs, and it still ain't happening. And I'm telling you, you will make progress. You will pick healthier people. You will be able to handle the grief of the process if you keep working at it and if you apply the things that I'm teaching you in this series of videos. I want to thank you for watching, and take really, really, really good care of yourself, and God bless.